Yeah, I got the new camera now. You like the lighting? Okay, nah. Okay, how am I gonna start this off? I think it's time we talk about Dame Dash. I'm not gonna give a whole spiel about who Dame Dash is, any lore. Y'all can always look it up. This is really aimed for the videos for those who are just casual listeners. This is for those who are fans of hip hop and know Dame Dash just off the name. They know who I'm talking about. I ain't gotta go in deep in detail. For those who aren't familiar with Dame Dash, I'll give a quick summary. He was one of the big three of the Rockefeller, along with Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z, and Kareem Biggs. You might know his little brother Maul.
To sit here and look like I'm some OVO, dick riding, Drake caping nigga when I'm just presenting the facts. He helped each and every one of these niggas. You would have never knew who the fuck the Migos was if Drake didn't remix Versace.
To deny Dame Dash of his impact means you're denying the major part of hip hop and music in general. Without Dame Dash, there really would be no Jay-Z, because Rockefeller wouldn't be the dynasty it was. He is an integral part of hip hop, which makes it very hard to say that how bad he has fallen. He has went from being a mogul, an icon, to simply being reduced to memes and jokes across Twitter and Facebook and Instagram or TikTok. Most recently with his Breakfast Club interview. If you haven't watched that yet, I suggest you do. It's a rough watch, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but man, is it funny. It really shows how far he has fallen. You see a man that's going through a crisis right now, and Dame Dash has not been privy to controversy or drama from his recent disputes with not only the Breakfast Club, but with Cameron, an old ally of his, with 50 Cent with the paid in full nonsense, with allegedly talking about selling his share to Rockefeller to Aubrey Graham, to his financial problems, him recently claiming bankruptcy, to his familiar problems, etc., etc., etc. And it just, he went from serving as somebody that represents independence to somebody that serves as a reminder of how pride can be the devil. Let me explain. I figured the best way to talk about this Dame Dash situation, just him in general, is to separate the discussion into two different things: bosses versus leaders, and the role people play. Bosses versus leaders. You guys hear that a lot across the internet. What's the difference between a boss and a leader? A boss is somebody who commands authority, makes demands, seizes control, wants control. He is the top. He is the top of the hierarchy. Everybody else below him, they serve him. And then you have leaders. Leaders are somebody who people don't serve them, they serve the people. They look at it as a we mentality. They understand that they're in charge, but they invite other collaborators to help them out. They emphasize on teamwork. They work with their team, they work with the people around them, not have the people work for them. They understand that a good leader understands that it's bigger than him. The mission is always bigger than him, and he's responsible for a whole crew of people to look after. That doesn't mean he's better than them. That means that he has the right attributes to guide them to the right, or to success, if I might say. There's always been a talk of bosses versus leaders. We're in the generation now where, thanks to social media, thanks to platforms like TikTok, Twitch, Kick, other streaming platforms, YouTube, you have a lot of more independent workers and a lot of people who value the idea of being an entrepreneur. You got a lot of people that want to be bosses, but nobody wants to be leaders. Let me explain. So when it comes to leaders make sacrifices. They take the blame, they take the fault. It's all about accountability with leaders. And it's sad because it's very popular in our community, the black community, my community, in which we are brainwashed to think that being the way of a boss is the only way for black excellence. And there's a lot of factors to that, I ain't gotta say it out loud, but two words come to mind. But now we're brainwashed to thinking that Being self-made is the only way to success. 9-to-5s are now looked down upon. College degrees are seen as, people who go to college are seen as suckers. Not by everybody, but there is a growing factor of people who don't see the point of college. And that's another discussion. As someone who has been in a leadership position himself and has recently dealt with the issues of dealing with bosses versus leaders, it goes back to Dame Dash. Dame Dash has a mentality and the traits of a boss. That's not a good thing. He's demanding, he's authoritarian, he's controlling. He wants to be the one that makes decisions. He's the one that wants to be in control. If things aren't controlled, he takes it. He does not care about the next man. He's cutthroat. And as somebody who's as a manager, and again, we grew up thinking Dame Dash was right. We all remember the previous Breakfast Club interview where he was calling Charlamagne and Ebro chatty patties, and all that's where all the memes came from too. And he was making it clear that if you work for another man, you are not a man. On paper that sounds nice, but this is reality, and reality is we're all new slaves in this modern day capitalism / possible dictatorship, considering how things are going right now. There is no such thing as a self-made individual. Everybody needs assistance from something. And that's the thing that Dame Dash does not understand. Dame Dash, she sees it as, if I see help, I'm seen as weak. If I seek help, I'm seen as less of a man. That's not the reality of it. And you see it first and foremost with this Breakfast Club interview. This man clings, he calls people chatty patty, but he's the biggest one. He does it, he has the traits of a boss, but he doesn't want to be seen as a boss. He wants to be seen as a leader. He wants to be seen, honestly, like Jay-Z. That's why he connects himself to Jay-Z even after it's been almost 20 years since they stopped doing business together. I've seen those type of people. I've worked with those types of people. I've been friends with some of these types of people. I've had family members that have that type of personality. It does not last long. You create a lot more enemies than allies. You burn more bridges, I'll say that. I had a metaphor going on. I just fumbled right now. So, those types of personalities, they think nobody could tell them anything and that their way is the highway, and any other suggestion is seen as inferior to them because they didn't come up with it. That doesn't get you far in not only business but in life. You have to understand that life is collaborative. You have to work with people, even somebody that is different from you. You have to formulate ideas with other people. If you have a mentality that your idea cannot be challenged, you're destined for failure. Dame Dash, or Dame Daddy, or Dame Dummy, as Nas used to refer, he has not took a time to look inside and see, you know what, I need to be better how I approach people, how I talk to people, how I view people. Roles. Everybody has a role to play. This is a harsh truth. Some people have strengths, some people have traits, some people have weaknesses that can affect what role they play. Some people are meant to be leaders. Some people have potentials to be good leaders or even great leaders. Some people shouldn't be in power at all. Going through what I went through personally, I've seen people who have been in power that have no idea how to maneuver with that power or be corrupted with it easily. Or then again, does power corrupt or does power reveal? Just something to think about. Some people aren't meant to be leaders. Some people aren't meant to be bosses. It's just the reality of things. Some people don't have the traits to be demanding or authoritarian or controlling, because you do need those traits. You do need the boss traits, because sometimes you have to put your foot down and make a stand. But what happens when you make a stand when all you become is argumentative and you shut down every suggestion or every possibility that differs from yours? That's where it becomes an issue. It's that lack of balance. Some people don't have social skills. To be a leader, you have to work well with people. You have to be empathetic. You have to have the idea and the understanding that there is no one size fit all approach for everybody. Everybody has to be approached differently. Everyone has to be conversed to differently. Everyone has to be treated equally, but you have to confront them, not in a negative way, that is going to be a little bit unorthodox to your type of approach. A real good leader understands that. Some people don't have that. Some people are just meant to play support. Let me give you a few examples. Let's take away from Dame Dash for a bit. Let's move that to the side. Let's give a music reference. This is a music channel after all, right? Let's just say you're a type of rapper that fits more the boom bap sound, but then you try to do more of a you try to be the R&B singer way. Try to hit high notes like Ja Rule. You see how that doesn't work out? Y'all play Marvel Rival, right? Y'all play Marvel Rival. The toughest dude is playing Mantis, game banging on people online. Trust me, online stuff, competitively. One of your teammates is playing Spider-Man, but he plays him like Thor, how a Thor player would play. Or how about somebody plays Magneto, but they play him like Star-Lord? Or somebody plays Mantis or Luna Snow, but they play him like Psylocke. Of course, you'll be frustrated because they're not playing how they should be played. That's not the roles they play.
That's not how the game is played. You can't do that.
This is what I'm getting at. It ruins the team dynamic, and it ruins everything when you aren't aware of what your specialties are. If you're not the type of person to be a boss, don't try to be a boss. If you are the type to be a boss, don't try to be a leader. If you're not willing to have the traits of a leader, what Dame Dash seems to lack. Self-awareness. He don't understand that he causes a lot of his problems due to his own ego. We as human beings, we have a tendency to either underestimate ourselves or overrate ourselves. And to fix that is to have that balance. Understand what your limits are. This is how you get better. Understand where your strengths are. This is how you grow. Don't be a Dame Dash. If I had any advice to any of the young cats that watch Dame Dash and watch the Breakfast Club interview, don't be full Dame Dash, because you don't want to be exactly the guy you make fun of later on. And I think you don't want to be the person that you hate. You don't want to be Anakin. You don't want to turn into the person that you try to destroy. Dame Dash is a legend. He's an icon. He's a figure. And without him, hip-hop wouldn't be where it's at today. However, we also have to acknowledge that Dame Dash is going out sad. Incredibly sad. There's no reason why you're spending the whole hour, you're like approaching 50, arguing with another man, making homophobic remarks, because that's the only way you can feel like you got a superior win over him, because that's what it's about. Let Dame Dash be a reminder to people. You got to keep your pride at the door. Stay humble. Don't think you don't need help, because the reality is you're always going to need some kind of help. Having a support system is important. Having a social group, a healthy social group, is necessary. And understand your role. It's a hard pill to swallow when you admit that you're not really a leader, or you're not good at certain things. But coming to terms to that will help you be the best version of yourself, because then you know what you need to work on and what you need to sharpen. The last thing you want to do is let pride screw you out of a good situation, especially when you've came a long way to get to that situation. Pause. Thank y'all for watching. I really appreciate that. I do have a new gaming channel. I'm gonna try to do more music related stuff on here, but if you want to see the shenanigans on Twitch, make sure you subscribe to the Twitch. Make sure you subscribe to the new channel. The link is on below. And y'all take care. Be easy. God bless.